This is starting on page 144 in the perspective of Zlatka. Eyes cast down, hands clasped before her. Turned, poked, and prodded. Then Branya, Guta, Giza. Hugs, smiles, relief. Exhilarating, exhausting. Existing. Worn as thin as a striped uniform, memory frayed, existence disintegrated, time unraveled. Death slept beside me every night. Sat beside me every day. Only the wheezing of breathe in, then out, the beat of my heart reminded me I was still alive. I raised my head, looked past the gray, past the gruesomeness, and looked to the horizon. At breakfast, Giza cried, "Where's my bowl? It was just here. I turned my back for a minute." Others moved away, shoulders curled, protecting their own bowls. How am I going to eat? We crowded around, hands outstretched, offering our own bowls. Out of step. Standing in Appel, after everyone was counted, we split into our commandos, lining up, perfect formation, to march off to work. Fanya and I stood next to each other. The overseer, burly, German guard, shouted the order to march. We all stepped forward, left, right, except Fanya, who stepped forward, right, left. The overseer yanked Fanya out of line. The riding crop lashed, once, twice across her back. The capo joined in. A billy club beat, once, twice, in her gut. The overseer shoved Fanya back in line and watched her hobble forward. Left, right. I reached out, squeezed Fanya's hand. "Do not let them see you cry," I whispered. "Do not let them change who you are." Fanya swallowed her tears and marched on. Left, right. Strength. At midday, I shared my bread with Fanya. "To keep you strong," I told her when she protested. Fanya chewed, not minding the staleness. Mold, weevils. "I try," Fanya said, "to do as I am told. I try, to be good, to not draw attention, to get by. I must survive, for Label. He will need me. But how can I, when being good is not good enough?" I looked away toward the horizon. When I spoke, my voice a trace, a whisper, a secret. Papa told me never to forget that we all carry a spark of God. No matter what they do, they cannot take the tiny piece of God away. They cannot take my thoughts. I remember who I am, who I was, my family, my life. Survival is a balance between being good and bad, between being strong and weak. You cannot be too much of anything, or they will notice. They will take you. I whispered to Fanya, but was speaking to myself. I will survive. I will not give the Germans the satisfaction of dying. At dinner, Fanya appeared, still limping, with an extra bowl. She handed it to Giza without a word. I didn't ask. None of us asked where she got it. Budding love. Branya and Giza worked to lay stones in the roadway, over the endless mud. Guta, Fanya, and I worked dredging forward filth from the ditches bordering the crematorium. We took turns keeping watch and resting when no one was looking. Other girls flirted through the barbed wire surrounding crematorium too, with the men in the Sonder Commando. One girl, her eyes shadowed, darker than the night, pressed her lips between the barbed wire for a kiss. "How can you talk to them?" Guta asked. "They are monsters," Fanya said. "Doing dirty work for the Germans," I said. "Defense of the Sonder Commando." The girl replied, "They are no more monster than you." My brother was selected for the Sonder Commando when we first arrived. I used to meet him here at the fence so he could unburden his soul. Yes, he helped the Germans. He led people, innocent people, children, to their deaths. He whispered assurances to them, calmed them so their last moments were not filled with terror. He spread their ashes with respect, due to humans. He said Kaddish for them, mourned them. His first assignment, fresh off the transport, was to gas the Sonder Commando he replaced. His last assignment, just 3 months later, was to walk with dignity into the gas chamber, so the new Sonder Commando could replace him. The Sonder Commando are not monsters. Terrible irony. Wrought in iron hanging over the gate, hanging over my head every single day. Albright macht frei. Work will set you free. The biggest lie, the biggest truth. Belgian beauty. We all knew Mala Zimmetbaum. She'd been in the camp longer than most. She survived because she was beautiful, brilliant, bold. So beautiful the Germans did not cut her long blonde hair, did not make her dress in the coarse uniform. So bright, the Germans made her a Lauferin, a messenger with privileges and responsibilities, running all over camp, translating French, Dutch, Italian, and Polish. So bold, she used her beauty and brilliance to help whenever she could, moving through the camp on errands of mercy. The Germans noticed her pretty smile, sashaying hips, light-hearted laugh. They did not notice the photographs she sneaked out of files, the sweaters she stole from Canada, the prisoners whose work details she switched, the medicine she swiped from the prisoners' hospital. We all loved Mala Zimmetbaum. Chapter 8 in the perspective of Fanya. Rumors. I heard rumors of a new commando, a factory that would make buttons, bowls, bicycles. If we joined, we would get more food, more heat, we would not work outdoors, go through selections. Should we volunteer? Zlatka asked. What if it's a lie? Guda asked. Branya answered, Then we die. What if it's the truth? Giza asked. Then we live, Branya answered. We were told we need metal allergists. We nodded, agreed. Yes, we are metal allergists. What's a metal allergist? Guda answered. Shh, I don't know, I answered. But what if this is what I have to be? That is what I will be. What if they find out? Giza asked. Shh, I don't know. One more selection, one more parade of naked women. Before a doctor, not the angel of death. To the left, to the right, we all joined the new commando. Privileges. The new commando also brought privileges. The new block had a furnace, more food to keep up our strength, and new clothes. We had to look nice, as if we were not starving, or in fear for our lives. At the factory, we would work, from people outside the camp. We got new slips, panties, stockings, dresses, sweaters, from Canada. Better than what we had before, but not as nice as what was shipped to Germany or traded for a profit. Not as pretty as the purple blouse Zlatka still wore, hidden under her uniform. Clean clogs. The overseer marched before us, riding crop tight in her hand. The capo scampered behind, faithful dogs. They inspected and counted hundreds of women standing in perfect blocks of 5. Other commandos marched off, but we stood still. The factory wasn't ready. Instead of working, we stood for hours in a pell, in the mud that still oozed between the paving stones in the chill autumn air. For hours, each day, day after day. My mind wandered. I unfolded the memories in my heart, platters of food, hot baths, clean sheets, boys who smiled, studying with label, but crumpled it back up when memories became too painful. Some girls fell ill, fainted, exhausted, starving. They were taken to the prisoners' hospital, never to be seen again. When the whistles finally announced the end of Appel, we returned to the block, only to be beaten by the Blokova, lashed with a whip, hair pulled because our wooden clogs were dirty. You are part of the Union Commando, she screamed. Do not bring shame. Some cleaned their shoes in puddles. I gathered what spittle I had and spat upon them, wiping my shoes clean with dirty hands.